to the shrine anyway. IG, they do smoke up. They want to go for more kills across this map. JT also has the veil up. Suddenly, looking a lot better. Top lane, 1, 2, 3. They know he's around there somewhere. Kaka will start taking care of that T1 tower. 1, 2, 3 for now is going to stick around as he doesn't have a TP available. And JT is going to finally spot him out. Gets the stun.
Oh.
There's no follow-up to it though. And 1, 2, 3 actually going to chase by himself. Perhaps just having faith in the Zeus to get the damage out through his ultimates. He won't find anybody. It won't matter though, he does have help around the corner now. So I say that. Burrow strike, follow-up stun.
Oh.
Apparently not enough help, John. They weren't even close. They backed off and well, 1, 2, 3 decided to go up at the wrong time.
Yeah, that's a bit strange from CDEC. They are slipping a fair bit of ground by giving these kills away. They still are holding on to that tier 1, not going to be up for too long. Kaka.
Fire Blast will be there, but Burrow Strike is out from JT. Straight on XM. They save Kaka well, for a second, but XM will find the kill with the Nimbus. That'll be it for IG. They've had enough of that top lane. They'll rotate to another. In fact, never mind. Emo's here now. They have not had enough. Victoria gets jumped on. Emo should be able to clean this up, and JT will be the one who jumps in with the burrow. 1, 2, 3 definitely wanted a lasso attempt on that Storm, but the purge was there from Ollie. IG, these little pickups they're finding are really starting to pay off.
It definitely is. I have to say, I am happy to see that 1, 2, 3 swap out the travels for the blink. He understands that he really needs to be able to start these fights for CDEC. He needs to get that blink initiation going. So he's going to have it up much sooner than you'd expect from IG, especially if he was opting to go for the travels first, as most Bat Riders do. But instead, he will prioritize that blink. That might give CDEC enough to take these fights back. We'll find out.
Well, the tier 1 top does go down. Bannerun's up as well. It'll be a 2 for 2 trade on those bounties. James grabbing the bot ones for the team. There's that blink you were talking about. 1, 2, 3. He does pick it up now. I'm sure he'll want to make use of it straight away. CDEC, you'd imagine they'd go for a pretty quick smoke with this blink now, but they may not even need to as IG. I thought they may go for the mid tier 1 push. They do not. They are looping right around to the top lane again. They've got an addiction for this lane.
Yeah, they are trying to farm the opposite side of their PA. Fly now has the Battle Fury up, working towards the BKB to cover that weakness up. And they have bought quite a fair bit of time. Number 1 in net worth now on that PA. Switching back and forth, fairly even in the top cores. But there is that Moonlight Shadow and smoke now.
They're going to find somebody. Unfortunately, though, it's only going to be Ollie. It's not really the kill you want to commit the lasso and these smokes on. You definitely wanted the PA. Now that he knows the lasso has been expended, Fly doesn't really care. He'll just go back to the jungle and keep farming up with his Battle Fury. IG, I honestly feel like you call that a win.
Definitely. They are wasting the movements from CDEC. They're buying a lot of space for this PA. I'm surprised CDEC has not applied as much pressure on Fly as they did in that laning phase. They've allowed the PA to really start to build up. Once that BKB is up, you don't have any fast way of bursting her down. And your physical damage isn't quite up to par yet. Still working on that Radiance on your Lifestealer. The right-click damage isn't as good as well. So you've got a lot of weaknesses here.
They found the Mirana. James just gets destroyed. CDEC, they just can't react fast enough. The fastest thing they could do is probably just drop the Nimbus, but even then, it's just not helping the cause. And Fly is getting closer and closer to that BKB. Once he has that up, you don't really have an answer. Eve is also getting extremely close to his own Radiance, though, which could be a cause of concern for IG. But we'll see. I mean, the PA, even with that being against that Radiance, can still burst you down quite fast.
Definitely. The one thing that comes after for Eve, though, is going to be that Halberd. And that's going to cause massive issues for the PA if the usage is right. Although it looks like they are going to surround Eve.
Burrow Strike is there. Veil, Split Earth, Epicenter, everything being thrown out. And it's well worth it. That's the position 1. You slow down his Radiance timing once again. He's already so darn close to picking up that Sacred Relic and finishing it off. But he will not get it for at least another 40 seconds. As now 1, 2, 3. Gonna try and jump Ollie, but he gets disrupted up. Emo doesn't have much mana though. He gets lassoed. The Purge was there, but Emo's in massive trouble and he'll go down. And with that, Ollie, Arrow will not connect, but they can just continue to chase. Nimbus is there anyway, and Ollie is definitely dead.
Yeah, again, another solid set of kills going the way of CDEC, although it's not done yet.
No, it definitely isn't. They catch out James on that Mirana. And well, Kaka, he misses Split Earth. It will not matter though. Fly was there on the PA to clean up. They may set up now for a tier 2 bot tower push.
It's going to be a pretty straightforward push. You have Kaka around as well. With those Diabolic Edicts, if they do opt to force the issue, it's going to be a hard defense for CDEC. Not quite ready to force that one out yet. Lasso is on cooldown as well.
Well, looks like for now they're just going to try and control up the Radiant jungle. They'll let the creeps do a bit of work on that tower. The moment someone tries to come defend, you just jump them instead. Fly officially now has that BKB up, and he'll bring it out on the courier very, very soon. The Radiance is also going to be there for Eve. So you've got both of them up around the same time. It is a late Radiance timing, to say the least. How much effect it's gonna have on this game is another question altogether. We'll have to wait and see. My fear is for Eve, though, is that he just gets kited around through these team fights.
It's going to be fairly easy to get that done. That's one of the things with the Lifestealer as well. Very prone to being kited around, although there is a smoke and smoke now.
Yeah, it's a massive smoke at that. IG right behind the side of CDEC. They just barely missed each other. IG, they may have to just transition for an objective instead. They'll place some wards down on their way out. But they barely miss each other. They'll go for the banner runes instead. Thunder God's Wrath will give vision of about where they are. CDEC. Looks like they will just kind of leave that be. Perhaps even go for that mid tier 2 if they want. I know they are set. They really want to find somebody. Moonlight Shadow will be popped. Unfortunately for them, it could be Ollie again on the Shadow Demon that gets caught out. They definitely want somebody else though, and Fly would be the best target if they can find him. They do settle for Ollie.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but they take what they can get. They didn't quite commit for the push onto everyone else up top, although
they don't quite find Fly. They wanted that lasso. So Victoria going in by himself right now. He's going to get shown. Still, IG not taking the bait.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
CDEC are just going to patiently wait for their opportunity. Feels very dangerous to go into this team fight while 1, 2, 3 is missing.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower.
Radiant T1 just simply goes down to creeps now. CDEC just were waiting for IG to push that top lane for so long. IG still up at that top lane, still kind of playing around here. Fly, does he jump?
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be straight onto James, but he's copying a lot of damage. There's the lasso straight after the BKB on the PA. He could just blink off the cliff, but he does not quite yet. He does now. Who does he jump on? JT's in trouble. He'll end up getting taken out, and Fly does not want a part of this. As 1, 2, 3 is continuing to chase. Eve gonna find Ollie once again. Disruption will be there, but it will not matter. CDEC gonna find another kill. That's a real shame for IG. I mean, that was the 10-second BKB usage on the PA, and as soon as she used it, 1, 2, 3 went in, got the lasso off, and it became completely useless.
that's a major point of concern for IG. That BKB is what they're riding on the back of the Fly. Ooh.
Getting juked around by James. James eventually does go down. They don't actually punish Emo. There was nobody there to lock Emo down while he was doing that. So he does get away with it. Still though, CDEC looking decent. A 2k net worth lead does remain for the side of IG. We have a quick look at that win probability, and apparently it's 58% the way of IG, so they are still somewhat in the lead. But Eve almost has that Heaven's Halberd up. Like you mentioned before, that is going to be the painful part for this PA.
Definitely is. Even if you get that BKB off, if the Halberd's up, you're just going to be wasting that duration. And that is a moment of weakness for the PA. Should be interesting to see though. Fly is inching closer towards that Desolator, so his damage is going to shoot up a massive amount. And he should be able to burst anyone in the back lines now. Even that Ogre is not going to be as tanky as it once was. But he has to be able to reach that back line and not be interrupted by the lasso. So he has to find those pickoffs while 1-2-3 is not around. CDEC has been on point with that. They have been grouping up quite nicely in all of these engagements, just negating whatever advantage IG has built up.
There it is. Eve now. I mean, even just the evasion being provided by the Radiance Halberd is going to be super annoying. You talked about that MKB before, and now he probably desperately needs it on the PA. And this is before that level 20 talent comes in. He's still got another 20% evasion to go if he wants. And I assume he definitely will want that one over the open wounds lifesteal. Fly. Gonna run in with Blur, though. May get caught out. They did find the burrow, though, onto 1-2-3. He does find the lasso, just barely, but they can't find the PA kill quite yet. Eve, though, gonna turn around, will eventually get it before he can blink out. The buyback from the Batrider was also immediate. He's still ready to go in once again if he wants. Epicenter, JT doesn't quite find the jump. They will grab the lifestealer in the end. He's got rage available. He'll just use that and walk away. Now his team's there to back him up. James, he'll jump in with the Yules. Gets used up by Kaka though. Now JT, Fire Blast is there. Another Yules will come out. Looks like JT doesn't have any choice in the matter. He is just gone. And CDEC, they don't seem to be done yet. They're looking for even more. So it looks like they won't find anybody.
They will find Roche. Eve does get started on that objective, and they blew everything in the tank for that last fight, so they don't have the epicenter. They don't have any way of taking this fight. It's down to Emo to steal that, but he's not in position. I'm actually a bit surprised IG's not moving up to contest this one. They have the Storm.
Well, they may just not be aware. You think they would be. It seems sort of obvious, but they won't contest. They won't try for it. They still hold that 3k net worth lead advantage, but as the game goes on, that PA just looks weaker and weaker.
Yeah, it's one of the things with PA. She has some pretty odd power spikes, I have to say. Looking at Fly, level 20 talent did go with the armor corruption, which is great to burst down heroes. For a while, he was actually queuing up that Satanic. I was very curious about that one, although there is an engagement.
Yeah, Ollie going to be the first one down once again. And he'll let the rest of his team know that side of CDEC is there, and so they'll back off. Still 26-22. It does not look like Fly has any sort of MKB underway. He's going to try for the Basher, which is fair enough. But, I don't know. It just doesn't look like the right decision. I mean, if the PA can't even hit the Lifestealer, what's the point?
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one. We did see that great effect last time. And, yeah, I want to see a fight break out, just to see how much this is going to get done for Eve. But the fights have been very constricted, and they tend to blow out really fast because of all the burst damage.
Dire structures.
For Eve now, he'll go ahead and try and secure that bot tier 1 tower.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Looks like it'll be absolutely no issue for CDEC. They might even go for another one.
Dire's bottom tower.
They've got the Aegis, there's no reason to really back off here.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures
Fly.
are fortified.
Still doesn't have the full basher up yet, so not really feeling like fighting. They may try to push in the top tier 2, but no. They won't even go there.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under
Please
Now,
emo now. Yep.
I am a bit surprised. You take a look at Eve. He was queuing up. Okay, that was confusing. He queued up the BKB for a while, switches back to the AC. I don't reckon you need a BKB because your 25,000's insane.
Dire
On Lifestealer, of course, if you have the BKB, you have an insane amount of magic immunity. I think it's probably a bit overkill. So the AC is going to be the name of the game. And it will just make Eve that much harder to kill. We've seen that before. It almost feels like a repeat of the last game for CDEC. They're going the exact same route with Eve. They're building up the same way. And, you know, eventually on the back of one fight, that could be it.
Well, XM now as well has a refresher orb up. So you've got double Nimbus, double Thunder God's Wrath. It's a very painful existence for IG in these team fights as long as XM's alive anyway.
bottom tower is under attack.
For now, they will remain safe. CDEC, they'll go for that mid tier 2 tower. IG will push in the bot tier 1. Or excuse me, the bot tier 2. Looks like there will be no real defense, but they are going to try and punish. It's a nice smoke coming up from IG.
Dire's middle tower.
Victoria may just break it and does, but they've already found the Burrow Strike. Who do they get? It is the Mirana, but here comes that Nimbus coming out. Now Eve, who are they fighting? They do go straight after the Batrider Emo, trying to take down somebody in this team fight. Eve has already found Ollie though. Now they do find James, but he's still outrunning them. JT may lose his life for this. In fact, James isn't even dead. The Open Woods will heal him up, and JT's gone. They couldn't kill anybody.
How does that happen? You get the jump on James, he doesn't die, and you lose so many heroes as well. That's a massive loss going the way of IG. A great turnaround from CDEC, even if they were the ones being engaged on. And that's going to make it so that they can probably apply some pressure to this tier 3. They don't have the double Nimbus for this high ground push,
Dire's middle tower.
but they still have a lot going for them.
And Eve's got an Agony. He's still got the Aegis up.
oh.
Oh, they found the Yules. That is not good, Emo.
No. He zips in, the Nimbus comes down, and the Lightning Bolt as well, he just stays in place.
That is genius by XM. CDEC will take the first racks of the game, 36 minutes into it.
Dire's middle barracks.
You've still got the Aegis.
Dire's
You've still got Lasso.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Even if you didn't have the Aegis, I don't know if anyone can take Eve out. Does expire. Eve just going to keep manning up on that tier 3. He'll grab it, and it looks like that's going to be enough for CDEC. They are very happy with what they got. Or maybe not. Maybe they just keep going. I don't disagree with them on this.
Bottom barracks
I think they're in a perfect position to keep this up. Eve will pop the Rage. It'll be a very safe range racks now.
has fallen.
The thing is, if anyone jumps Eve, 1, 2, 3 is there with the Lasso.
Dire's bottom barracks.
There's the Moonlight Shadow. They want to secure that bot racks. There's the Lasso as well. Kaka will be caught out. JT jumps in with the Burrow though. They might find the Bat as they will fly. Pops the BKB and goes for that though. Eve, he's falling low. It was all Kaka with a Diabolic Edict doing all the damage. And with that, they are going to find a 4th kill.
What? Like, that's just a surprising turnaround. Definitely the kills IG did need, but CDEC, they played really greedy there. They just didn't manage to get as much done. They copped all the damage in the world. They didn't get to really maximize that lasso. And they pay for it. They pay for it really heavily, giving a lot of gold away of IG. IG definitely going to be happy. Still, though, they're behind in terms of map control. They've got a lot of catch-up to do. Can they clear out enough objectives in this downtime?
They're going to get a tier 2 mid. Potentially, as Fly is dealing with backdoor protection right now. Now fortification, he might not even find this. Looks like he's going to stick around. Kaka going to TP in, so they want to try and force some buybacks out. That's fair enough. CDEC will not oblige. In fact, JT, he finds Victoria on the Ogre.
Oh, Emo?
He does get arrowed, but there's just no follow-up to it. Everyone's still dead. Oh. Now they found another. XM goes down on the Zeus. Victoria buys back immediately, and they are not done. They're going to try and find a dieback now. In fact, they go straight after the Mirana. Buybacks come out straight out of XM. He takes down JT. He takes down Ollie. BKB forced out from Emo, just the TP, but look at Eve. Look who he's found. Oh, no. Fly. Goes to the TP. Do you have a lasso? They couldn't blink. 1, 2, 3 couldn't quite blink there. It was on cooldown. Kaka, he'll still be going down at least. Open wounds is there. They'll punish. They only lose their tier 3 tower, but they are forced to buy back quite a bit.
It does look like CDEC still wants to play this aggressively. They are forcing themselves into that high ground, probably going for that melee racks. They force the buyback out.
Dire's bottom shrine is under attack. Dire's bottom shrine has fallen.
CDEC gonna think twice about pushing the high ground once again. Not yet, at least. They're gonna think about it a bit.
They are waiting for the BKB up on Eve, so they want that added magic immunity. Just allow him to stand those fights. I think that's gonna help massively. The last time he died was because his rage ran out. Just having a BKB is gonna help him. Does look like he... Did he buy it out? Yeah, it's right there. So he can get a lot more done now. That should give him a confidence boost in these fights.
CDEC. Be very nice for them to try and use that 10-second charge on the high ground of IG. They are going to infest up on 1, 2, 3 once again. Moonlight Shadow will come out as well. They see Emo mid, but Emo does have friends around him. 1, 2, 3 though. Sees Fly. Under God's Wrath, and no, he goes straight for that Storm. Get rid of him, and Emo does have buyback. Will he use it though? Yeah, he does. He uses it straight away. Eve though, gonna fight JT in the tree line. Fly also comes back into this, trying to fight with this Lifestealer. Eve is still very healthy. Arrow flies in, hits the PA as well. They try to turn it, but the disruption is there. Now the magic damage with the Epi from JT will be enough control for Eve to go down. Victoria will be chased as well. He gets the Fire Blast off from Kaka, but it may not matter as they do lose Victoria on the Ogre, and it looks like they will lose James on the Mirana. In fact, make that 1, 2, 3 as well. The buybacks are flying out from the side of CDEC, but it's not going to matter as IG, they are happy with what they've gotten, and they are going to back off.
It's a massive win for IG this time around, turning that fight on its head. That's the 10-second BKB reveal coming out from Eve. He did last a lot longer there. His damage output is not great. He needs his MKB up. He cannot man-fight against a PA. He's facing the same issues that the Gyrocopter in the last game faced as well. He can't hit. So he needs to get that MKB up. Unfortunately, with that buyback, it's going to be a long time until that item is up and running.
As well as that, it may be an idea for somebody on the side of CDEC to finish off a pipe. You've got 2 people with Hood of Defiances, but no pipes up. So
yeah, that would be a massive help, but the Roche is just going to go for IG now. That's going to be 2 lives up on one of these heroes. Going to be a hard time to deal with Emo twice over.
He's been a real problem on that Storm. IG just regain a 7k net worth lead. Like, they're still essentially 1 racks or 1.5 racks behind. Just doesn't care though. The net worth is still going to remain their way. Dota Plus is also going to agree. IG apparently have the better chance of winning this game.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
They will find at least the top T2 tower. They can go after this top shrine as well now.
Under attack. Radiant's
CDEC
top
just
tower
seem to be on the back foot. At least Eve has queued up the MKB, but I don't even know if that's going to make all the difference at this point.
bottom shrine is under attack.
I think it would. It's just that it's not going to be coming out at a good time. He had to buy back. He's going to save for buyback again. It's going to be a long process towards that MKB. They don't have a lot of safe spots to farm in. They don't have deep vision out on CDEC's side. It's very risky to go and farm any of these lanes out without that information.
We'll have the Moonlight Shadow being popped by CDEC.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack. Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
Emo has the full Bloodthorn up. So now you've got this added damage control for Lifestealer with that Bloodthorn. You really just blow him up after the BKB Rage is done. They're going to zip in again. Where do they go? They go straight after that Mirana. They just don't like having James on the field, apparently. Now Fly. Wanted to go after 1, 2, 3. He'll get rid of this Nimbus first. His BKB is going to be on cooldown as well, so he may not feel comfortable going for another fight. He most certainly is, though. He's just zipping in and out, giving vision. Oh, that's why he's zipping right. He's got a regen rune up.
Regen and Arcane running at the same time. That's pretty balanced.
Storm Spirit Stream. Looks like IG won't try for the high ground. Again, they didn't have the BKB available on Fly at the time. It was on cooldown. To be fair though, there is no buyback available on the Mirana right now, so it does seem like a decent time to try and fight, but they will not.
It's a bit of a perilous spot now for CDEC. Their high ground defense is pretty darn good with that Zeus. But burst damage from IG is just way up there now. It's very hard for CDEC to take these fights outside. You take a look at that map, the wards still haven't been dropped. No information whatsoever. IG, they have complete control in where they want to go and what they want to do.
It's a lucky bash onto Eve. Burrow Strike will not really stun up as the rage was there from Eve. Emo just currently across the map, about halfway. CDEC just going to try and continue holding this high ground. They are behind by 18k now though. Things are getting worse and worse as time goes on. Fly, he just wants to pick up that Abyssal Blade, I believe, before he goes, and he does have it up. He just needs to bring it out on the courier.
This slowdown does allow CDEC to slowly work towards those buybacks. You have about 2 minutes left for Eve. Without that buyback, if they're not going to make a move in that time span, this Lifestealer will be able to help in the defense.
Well, CDEC are going to Moonlight Shadow up. JT in the mid lane would be a decent way to start off this team fight if they could pick him off. They will just go and try to D-ward while they can, it seems. Both teams again just staying away from each other. IG no rush to try and push their advantage. See, Flyfly is still holding on to that Abyssal Blade recipe. He does buy it out now. He was just saving up for that buyback gold. I believe this will be the item he needs to really feel confident. As the Aegis isn't there anymore in the storm, they do jump Eve. Aeon Disc will proc on JT, so he's perfectly fine. Do you wait up that Aeon Disc now as well?
I think that's giving a bit too much time to CDEC. But at the same time, IG has not felt pressured at all. They feel like they've got the advantage. They most certainly do in terms of net worth. But we've seen that turnaround before. You don't want to risk it too bad. I like the patience coming out from IG. They're just going to try to find a sure thing. Although
gets caught by the lasso. They've got to jump now. They will not. They'll allow him to die. Emo was across the map again. He can always zip in. Chooses not to, though. See another Moonlight coming out. Gotta be very careful with your RIG. We saw this last game from CDEC. They don't mind being behind. They can just come back very, very easily if they play their cards right.
you've got buyback back online for Eve now. So they've managed to wait out the roughest point. CDEC going to be feeling a bit comfier to force fights out. They are playing a lot more aggressive on the map. They're on the opposite side, taking over IG's jungle, taking out their shrines. So they have some confidence back with the buybacks being online.
The Aeon Disc now on XM as well on the Zeus. Top lane gonna be pushed in by Eve. He'll go ahead and clear out that T2 tower. And Eve is very close to the MKB. He just needs that Demon Edge. He is still holding on to the buyback goal that he needs. IG, you kind of start asking yourself question, have they waited too long?
It's hard to say, right? Because PA scales okay into the late game, kind of the same way that Lifestealer does. They just haven't really maximized it. The fact that they've been playing against these super creeps for a while means their farm has not really accelerated as much as you'd expect, which keeps CDEC in the game. There is the smoke out now. Perhaps this is the moment IG wants. Forced out that fight. Roche is still a minute and a half away, so that objective is not on the table.
Bot lane, this could be bad. IG, they're smoked up. They don't have the advantage though. Karkai gets caught out with his pants down. He gets lassoed up and he's gone. CDEC starting to play around IG. Get a fair bit of gold out of that as well. Onto Eve.
Yeah, this is scary. You have the MKB up on Eve now. So a lot of that durability on Fly, gone.
Strike JT jumps in. They go straight after 1, 2, 3. Try to get rid of that Batrider. He doesn't have lasso anyway, but Fly just does not want him in the game. Now the zip in Emo going after him as well, but they just can't kill him apparently. He does survive all that damage. Now Eve, he pops his own BKB, found JT, but he's getting kited around quite a lot. As the arrow will not connect and Fly jumps straight on that Mirana. A lot of crits coming out. CDEC saw this Lifestealer. He just can't get in range to hit anyone. That seems to be the real issue here. Is just completely kited. And you have a sight device available on Emo as well.
You have the Roshan up now. That is the Aghanims as well. That could be a big one for CDEC. They need the Ags on 1, 2, 3 to get all that control in. They don't check though.
They want to find kills. 1, 2, 3 has the lasso. Emo would be a nice one if they could get the storm.
Dire are scanned.
They're going to go up top. It'll be Kaka on Thunder God. Thunder God's Wrath comes out a bit late though. You could have probably scouted out before that, but Kaka does go down. Now the team fight starts. Emo just zips in straight away, and they get Eve on that Lifestealer. Now Victoria on the Ogre, gonna be in trouble. He'll go down as well. You see 1, 2, 3 trying to outrun JT. He'll be able to get away. But that Thunder God's Wrath, I mean, they could have used it a bit earlier on and then found the Storm or the PA. Rather, they use it as they're approaching the left track.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame there for CDEC. That is going to be the Roche going the way of IG. And that's going to be Ag's blessing. Go straight to Emo. You get that mini black hole. All that control in the world now going to be available for IG. That's terrifying.
They don't even care
they
about
actually
the
give it
chase.
to... They give it to Fly. They give the Ags to Fly. So you have all your spells that could refresh, of course. And your Blur having that cast point.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, every single kill. Blink strike again. Dagger out again.
Oh no. And he's got a double damage. This could be terrifying. Fly. Is he going to find anyone with that DD? James would be an easy target. He runs up. And yeah, he spots him now. 1, 2, 3. He's gone. Now James still going to be alright, but no, he's not. Fly just destroys him.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Yikes.
Yeah, that is... that's PA with a double damage.
They'll buy back on the Marana. They'll buy back on the Bat Rider.
Oh, nice arrow.
It is a nice arrow, but there will be no kind of capitalization. Lifeline gets hit by the arrow as well. Do you jump in with the lasso? Not quite, as your Lifestealer is still down. So they'll lose one mid-rax as they jump in. Who have they caught there? It is going to be the Bat Rider, but he'll BKB up. Now the Epicenter lasso straight into the fountain. JT, though, has his own Aeon Disc, but he's going to be chased down. They'll take it. No, in fact, they won't. He eats the cheese, and he will survive. But the arrow does connect as he power strikes out of there. XM has found Kaka on the left track. Now they'll find JT. He'll use up, but he is dead. Ollie, poor old Ollie, getting caught out behind the tree line. He's gone. 3 kills away of CDEC. It apparently is still a very even game.
Yeah, they're still finding a lot. I mean, it's an even game, you say. It's 39 to 38. Yes, it's a 32k advantage for IG, and they can't close it out yet. So, CDEC, they've still got the tools in the tank, enough fuel in there to really get this going. It's a bit terrifying if you look at it. Like, all of this could be decided in one fight, and it could go badly for either side if they don't win out.
Eve, hexed up, Fly jumps in, but no, there's 1, 2, 3, but he's copying way too much damage. He got bashed on the first hit from Fly. Now the disarm from Eve comes out on 1, 2, 3. He wants to chase. PP will be okay. He'll make it out. CDEC now will also back off. They will at least force out the buyback from JT.
Oh man, just all these engagements could really just end the game if they don't go right. Both teams playing a bit cautiously, but as aggressive as they can get. And you can really feel the tension in the air, you know? It's like 39, 38, 57 minutes in, yeah, 33k lead for IG. They don't want to fight. They don't want to force it.
Yeah, gonna show down at bot lane. They'd love a lasso on him. Fly will be okay. They got scanned out anyway by the side of IG. XM's getting to the point where he's going to have a sight device up soon. After that, looks like he wants an Octarine core.
I'm over here. Storm Force, double damage.
You know, this is the point in the game where the farm does start to pour into your supports.
Ooh. Emo almost getting hit by a rogue arrow.
But yeah, the farm does start to drip into your supports here. And usually you'd see a bit more build-up. James, he has that Aeon Disc, so he has a way of disengaging now. But IG, yeah, they're still trying to build up. Like, they're saving all these buyback, but he's gonna have his Ags up. He has the gold. But when he does get that, he purges. Of course, the charges on his spells could spell the difference in control.
Arrows to fly out. ID just don't seem to have a way into this high ground. Aegis is still there on Emo, but I imagine it will run out very, very soon. And I don't believe they'll actually get any use of it. Top lane has been pushed in. JT will take care of it. He can TP back to his teammates, but they do not want a part of this high ground yet. They're going to get back to farming. But we are approaching that 1 hour mark. And this has happened for every single game today, by the way. Although, bot lane, fly. Down to 1, 2, 3. Now Victoria gets caught out. So the Batrider's down for 2 minutes. A great opening for IG now.
Definitely so, but they could have gotten more. They didn't have detection in time. Kaka had the gem, but wasn't in range. So they don't find that kill in Victoria still. That is the bat without buyback. And that's massive. That's 3 minutes. He's not going to be having that buyback. Just as long on his respawn as well. It's an opening. They really depend on 1, 2, 3 getting that good lasso. This could be what IG needs to get going.
I'll take your tribute.
We've got an INTERCEPTOR up on Ollie now, so you've got 3 purge charges available. It'll be easier for Fly to clean up with that. In fact, if they get a Burrow Strike off, gotta dodge those arrows, but here comes Emo with the Hex. They have got the Life Stealer, but not quite yet, although they get the bash on Dagger. More arrows to Fly. Won't connect on anybody. Emo again straight onto Victoria, but he's getting quite low. He'll eat the cheese. Get back to it. Another Hex straight on the life. Where's the crits coming out? Not quite, although yeah, they'll finally get him. Epicenter is there from JT, but it's not going to do much. But they do force out the buyback on Eve as the stuns do come out on the PA, but Ollie will save the day. He'll get the purge up on the life stealer as well. They'll force the infest out. This is starting to look worse and worse for CDEC. 46k net worth lead now for IG. They do get some massive stuns on the PA though. He'll get disrupted up. Ollie, has he just doomed Fly? I think he has. Yeah, he did. Fly will go down. Now James pursuing for more. They'll find the Yules onto James and Ollie will go down. That'll be the same for JT. He uses himself up. Although, no, nice blink away to the south. Can they cancel the TP? Yeah, they certainly can. JT has no way out of this one. As CDEC once again push them back, and they do barely save that pot Rax. Though I say that as if the range Rax doesn't have 107 HP, but it does. It's still there.
Oh man, that was... I have no idea what's going on. Like, you take a look... You take a look at that advantage IG has. It's 37k, Mike. They've got at least 13k above the Lifestealer with her Storm, even more with a PA. And they still can't get it done.
Before that team fight, John, they had a 46k net worth lead.
Yeah, it was even higher. And they can't clean it up. Massive respect to CDEC, right? They're holding out well. They're really forcing this one to be a hard-fought game. And this is just game 1 in the best of 5, Mike.
Well,
best of 5.
I'm having a look at Dota Plus right now, John. Dota Plus doesn't know what's going on anymore either, apparently.
I mean, look at this. Eve is just working on that range Rax.
Yeah.
That melee Rex. You know, it's just gone. They've evened that out. It's even. You've got the same situation in terms of racks and map control, but you have so much more gold than IG. This is so reminiscent of that last game we just saw. There was a Divine on the Gyrocopter, yet for some reason Eve was the better carry.
Well, they jump in Hex
That's
again
one,
on the Batrider. 1, 2, 3. He gets the lasso! Emo! What are you
No.
doing?
No!
Emo!
You're getting split pushed, oh Kaka?
Yeah, Kaka's there, but XM's also there. And he may just be dead now, Kaka. Force the BKB TP out. He'll get out of there as XM can't break the BKB. But now the top racks are under attack.
Memphis?
Yeah, I believe it is. They'll buy back on Emo, though. Bash has come out. Infest is there on James, and Emo can't afford to die right now. It'll be a dieback if he does. James getting out of there. Fly jumping on. They get the Hex off, but Eve, he jumps out. Kaka getting saved by the disruption. Eve, though, going to stick around. Still the Yule's there on Kaka, but he is dead. He does have buyback. Now JT jumps in, but they have no vision. Aeon Disc gets procced. He procs his BKB as well, but now the lasso, they caught Ollie on the Shadow Demon. Emo will jump in, trying to help out Ollie. Fly straight on the Batrider. Now the epicenter from JT, not doing any damage to Eve on the Life Stealer, but they do manage to get 1, 2, 3. Arrow does connect on the PA though, coming out from James. It will not matter as IG, they are going to punish heavily towards the side of CDEC. But the buybacks are flying out. They've got to be careful to overextend too far. Victoria goes down as well. Eve just going to make a run for it. Emo trying to zip his way in. He does go into the back where XM has shown up. The Infest, Aeon Disc has been procced. They can't actually find him. In fact, no. Emo, he gets turned on. It's a lot of damage. Not quite enough, though, as they find 1, 2, 3 again on the Batrider. He BKBs up. He gets the Yules off on the PA. He should just be dead, though. No, he gets the lift off just in, the blink off just in time.
Oh my god.
What is this game?
Oh, that was one hell of a fight coming from both teams. It looks wonky for both sides in the end. That is still a massive gold swing going the way of CDEC, despite them committing their buybacks. This is going to be the Roche going the way of IG uncontested. That is the refresh plus the Aghanim blessing now. Who are they going to give that blessing to? It should be the Storm at this point, but he does not have inventory space. They do actually give it to JT instead. So he has that insane Burrow Strike. And that's just going to probably throw a big dent in CDEC. They probably don't expect that. And it's something a bit worrying for these team fights now.
You really think they don't expect it, John? I mean, they were 46k net worth behind.
I don't know what I don't know what they expect anymore, Mike. All I know is they're holding out at 65, 46 to 44, 37k advantage for IG. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have a Storm who has 34k in his bank. A PA, 45k. Doesn't matter. It's not closing out the game. And CDEC is making this a very, very painful game for IG. Every single inch that IG takes is costly, littered with blood. And they can't close out the game. They can't close out this game just yet. I wonder how long CDEC can do this, because they are doing so well. I think the one issue CDEC has is that they don't have enough farm in 1, 2, 3. They've got to give this guy space. He only has 12k in the bank. If this guy had an Ags or a Refresher, you would see the pace of this game just really change. All that control going out, piercing through BKB. Yeah, I think that would really set it. But unfortunately, 1, 2, 3 just can't get that done.
Fly, he has a double damage rune up. This could be massive. Smoke will be there. They want to sneak their way into this. There's not many buybacks left across the map. Eve pops his rage, jumps in. Kaka will be the target. No, Lasso is there on the left track, so get rid of Kaka, but zip in straight away. They'll get 1, 2, 3 on the Batrider. He has no buyback available. Now they're on Eve. The Life Stealer does go down. Emo finds him. Now they go on Victoria on that Ogre. This could be over. They take him out as well. It's a 3-for-1 trade. No buybacks on any of the cores of CDEC. As Fly jumps back in. They won't quite find James. Arrows fly out. They're going to try and hold this. They are going to get Megged though. But it's not over until the throne goes down. Emo jumps in. Side device is there on James. Looks like he will be gone. He gets the Yules off at least. Tries to leap into the fountain, but will not be successful in doing so. The T4s are going to be under siege by IG. It's only XM left on the Zeus. How much can he do by himself?
Oh,
He's trying. They haven't given up yet, John. He's actually giving it a shot, but they'll dive the fountain. They'll make him give up. The buyback's available. He'll try as well. Epicenter though, fly. Just jumps in, cleans up. And, I mean, what a game number one for a best of 5. IG almost throwing that away to CDEC. They were very close to losing this game, but they do manage to close it out. And we potentially have 4 more games coming.
I mean, what a game. What plays coming out from both teams. That was game 1. It felt like game 5 to me, Mike. I thought we were done for today because that was way too tight from both teams. But that's just going to set the pace here. IG coming in with a 1-game advantage. We'll see whether or not CDEC can bounce back. They have a lot more going for this day. Should be really fun to watch this one unfold, Mike.
It certainly
I'm looking
should
forward
be.
to it.
As you guys can see, we've already got into the lobby, so we'll be right back with you guys in just a second. It is MLP Dota and John X Fire. Shouldn't be too long before game number 2 does start.
Radiant team.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for game number 2 of this best of 5 grand final between CDEC and Invictus Gaming. It is, of course, MLP Dota and John Expired. John, IG do manage to take game number 1 after 65 minutes. Game number 2, what do you think CDEC needs to do differently?
It's hard to say. I don't see any major faults there from CDEC. I think the one thing that really got them down was the fact that 1-2-3's farm was a bit too low on the Bat Rider. So perhaps if they're going to go for that, try to reassess your farm distribution. Try to give some back to your offlaner. I think if you give 1-2-3 that good start or the release, let him build up a bit, he could have contributed a lot more. Otherwise, I feel like their plays were on point. Both teams are just playing really well. And it really just boils down to who gets that slight advantage. It's all decided on the flip of a coin, it looks like. And in that last one, I mean, CDEC, they were playing up against a 49k, 46k deficit for a long time, but they held out against IG. They got more objectives earlier on, and they really stalled that game out. So I'm curious to see whether or not both teams will shake up their draft or kind of go back to the same thing. It looks like both teams are slowly building back to their old draft. CDEC open with a Mirana, IG, they get that Ogre Magi, and the Gyrocopter.
Back to the Gyro it is. And it seems like it's just an easy pick to make. Of course, you've already got the Ogre, CDEC. I thought they were going to pick up a Shadow Demon, as it wasn't banned or picked, but they go for the Clockwork pickup.
I like that. I like that so much here from CDEC. We saw what they could do with the Clockwork Mirana dual lane. If they opt to do that with a core Clockwork for 1-2-3, I think that's a hero he does fantastically on. Doesn't require too much farm to be online. Can be very disruptive. If IG isn't ready for this, it's going to be a very hard lane for them to match up against.
Certainly will be. For CDEC and IG, one more ban each. They'll get rid of the Ember and OD again, so they want to deny those off Emo. We saw the exact same thing last time around in the last draft. IG. That last draft took a very long time for this 5th ban. I believe they took about a minute and a half reserve time in the first draft for this 5th ban. See how long they think about it this time.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Because IG should have seen this this Clockwork in the previous series that we did watch up against Newbie. So they should kind of know what to expect out of 1-2-3 with this clock. Just a matter if they're really ready for it, though. It did devastate Newbie quite hard.
Yeah, it's there are still ways to draft around this if you know how it's run. I think just having the Ogre is a very different story for CDEC. Much harder to burst that support down. So if they do run that dual lane, it might not work the way CDEC wants it to go. At the same time, it's still a bit of a surprise here. Not sure if IG has played against that too often. They ban out the Lifestealer, which is great because that's just a natural hero to go into with the Clockwork. You have that great vehicle already. Just taking that out of the equation is pretty fantastic. Eve just plays a really mean Lifestealer. All throughout. He's done a lot of work. IG, they go to Rubik, and that's a really fantastic pick here. A lot of good spells to steal from that Mirana and Clock. They do end up with a Shadow Demon now in CDEC, so you have that set up for the Mirana. Really potent lanes coming out from both sides.
Kind of shocked to see the Shadow Demon actually just made it through to the second phase of picks, but it did. So IG don't care for it. They'll go for the Omni Knight, which does make enough sense. As long as you got that Omni around, if anyone gets arrowed with that Shadow Demon Disruption, you just Heavenly Grace and it doesn't matter. I do love that pick, even with the clockwork. He wants to hook in and get work done, but again, Heavenly Grace, Guardian Angel kind of makes it a hell of a lot harder for CDEC to make those big jumps on the side of IG. Not to mention the Gyrocopter loves having that Omni Knight behind him. See how CDEC does respond. They are yet to show us really their mid and position 1 carry. Doesn't seem like there's many good options left in the pool though. I mean, so many of them have been banned out. Of course, there is the Troll that we did see them play before and they did make it work. It wasn't a decisive win though, it was just a win. Of course, they could also go back to that Lycan that they've been running on the side of CDEC. Whether they have the lineup for it.
Yeah, that's something they could fall back to. Gonna be interesting to see. We have seen the Omni Knight really cause a lot of issues for a lot of different teams. I'm wondering if they're gonna specifically counter-target that one. They do go with Lesh. There's that push we were looking for CDEC. They have it in spades now. They have great setup with the Shadow Demon and the Mirana. Lots of aggression from this lineup so far. I do want to see what their mid is going to be, though. Like, CDEC, they definitely need a mid that maybe scales a bit better. If they fall behind a bit too far with this kind of lineup, it's not going to be easy to stay even with a Gyrocopter.
5 seconds remaining.
IG. Final ban for them. Of course, that is going to be a core Leshrac, by the way, which is, I mean, every time we've seen the Leshrac as of late, it has been the position 4. So the core Lesh probably will be in the safe lane, I imagine. Could be mid, of course, as well. IG, they'll actually get rid of the Slark. So not feeling the Slark this game. Don't want to have to go up against it. Fair enough.
10 seconds remaining.
Of course, IG could run the Gyro mid, but that's highly doubtful. They'll probably pick up another hero for Emo. They'll ban the Storm Spirit, but that does allow him his Invoker if he wishes. And CDEC will go back to that Troll Warlord, it seems.
It's fair enough. They've gotten a lot going for themselves with that. It gives them that scaling they want to have up against a Gyrocopter. So it's going to be able to match up if in case the game goes late. I like that last pick for them, but the draft doesn't feel as confidence-inspiring as it was last time, I have to say. It's a solid draft. It's just this time around, I do think IG's got a better draft going for themselves. After the performance in Game 1, I can see them pulling this one off quite well. It's going to be down to that mid pickup for them. I mean, the Invoker's in the pool if they want to go for that. I'm not sure if you would. But it is there for Emo if they want.
Seems pretty alright though, right? Like you pop the Battle Trance throughout the Tornado and suddenly the Battle Trance just gets half its duration wasted.
Yeah. There's a lot of utility in that Invoker here. Although it does look like IG is really thinking about it.
You haven't got the best heroes to kind of gel with it though. Like you've got no one that really takes advantage of the well, never mind, the PO will come out and it looks like Gyro will be going mid.
Huh. Okay. That is a very, very interesting shakeup. There isn't too much from CDEC that can clear those illusions afterwards. I mean, they have some great wave clear in their heroes, but Troll Warlord does not deal with a PL too well. So I like that coming out from IG. Should be interesting to see that unfold. Emo Gyrocopter, that is going to be a bit of a treat. We don't see that too often, but it's going to be up against Troll played by XM. So that mid lane matchup is not the most typical, Mike. I mean, we've seen both of these heroes go mid before, but not against each other.
It's hard to know who it favors. I mean, I guess both players will probably just stay at range and just trade CS most of the time. You'd imagine it still does favor Emo if we are talking about actually getting into a fight. Just because he does have the Rocket Barrage homing missile available to him. Kind of intrigued as well with IG. I mean, you talked about the PL. You've still got a core Leshrac you have to deal with. That's my concern for this PL. Of course, you go Diffusal, burn the Leshrax's mana, and suddenly Eve won't be able to do anything anyway, but
Yeah. It's
before
down to the
that-
timing. Like early on, CDEC does have a way of controlling fly, but as the game goes on, it grows into more and more of a game for XM. It's down to him to grow big. It's down to him to find those big targets. Eve, he can still get work done. He can still maybe help to identify the real PL, but you really don't want to be pushing it all too late against the lineup IG has. They scaled so much better on those two cores. The PL and the Jar, of course, just scale massively with gold. So if you're going to push this game to 65, I don't see CDEC actually holding as well as they did in game 1. But you never know. These guys, I mean, they held up against a 40k deficit.
Prepare
I could
for
just be completely wrong, and they wouldn't mind going late game at all.
they haven't seemed to mind all day. See how it all pans out for them. That just does not seem like one of those games where you would want to go too late up against the PL. It just becomes very, very painful to deal with. But you still got the Gyro as well, who is equally as painful. I wonder how Emo does perform in this mid Gyro. I mean, it's very hard for a Gyrocopter to lose a lane. The likelihood is he will just outright win the lane, but it's just not really the style of the play style that we're used to seeing Emo on. Usually very aggressive on these mid cores, but the Gyrocopter is much more farm intensive.
I'd say it's actually pretty aggressive. Like, if you're going to be playing around your early spells, especially that Rocket Barrage, you can be really, really aggressive with a hero. You will need to sit back and farm at some point. You don't want to just waste too much time walking around. But I can see Emo actually pulling this off quite well. The issue is the matchup. Troll does have ways of playing around that Gyro. He does stay in range as well, and has pretty good attack animations. His damage output with spells is not as great. But if he just stays out of range, he should be able to at least keep pace with the Gyro. Not going to be clearing out those waves as fast. He doesn't have anything like Flak. Still, you can make the Gyrocopter kind of miss with your Axtros. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see this one unfold, actually.
James, he'll rotate up top of the Mirana. So you're going to have that Clockwork Mirana lane all over again. Except this time around, they're up against the PO, which is arguably easier than it was last time with the Gyrocopter. Still, the PO will have a way out of the cogs with that Doppelganger. Looks like they are going to specifically focus on making sure 123 never feels comfortable in the lane. Zolly and Fly already dishing out a hell of a lot of harassment towards these two.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for 123 to trade favorably. That Ogre is a bit too tanky. The PL is going to be dipping in and out way too much. This is a bit of a rough lane for CDEC. If they can isolate one of these heroes, that would be big. But I'm not sure if IG will allow that. It doesn't look like it. They're playing their cards right. Applying that pressure onto this clock is big.
Nice little arrow from James. The fly. It'll just be a bit of a stun. Of course, looking over to that mid lane. Emo and XM. Just going head to head. Can't expect anything too special out of these two. It'll just be a farming lane for a while. You'll see Emo just throwing out homing missiles here and there, but that'll pretty much be it. And the bot lane may be more interesting. We have JT and Kaka there on the Omni Rubik, but they'll be up against Eve and, of course, Victoria on the Shadow Demon. Always got to be careful about that disruption into the Split Earth. That can just really easily find the side of CDEC a kill down at this bot lane.
Definitely could. Seeing Eve on this Lesh, it's pretty nice. Like, it does kind of suit his playstyle. He does play aggressive in lane. My worry is the timing. If they let Eve slide out too long, he's not going to be as effective as you'd expect. And considering how the games have been going, I don't see this ending fast for either side. So we'll see whether or not Eve can hit those power spikes and give a lot of momentum for his team.
Emo does have a haste rune up in the mid lane. May begin to try to get a little bit more aggressive, but he doesn't really have much mana to play with. He will actually bring out a lot of mangoes onto the Gyro, so now you do have the option if you wish. Looks like he will not. See CDEC top lane, trying to find Ollie on that Ogre now. They actually haven't got any levels up in the battery assault yet, but they've got the Cogs rocket flare, and there's the battery assault coming up. Fly though, we'll go ahead and say hello to 123. Meanwhile, bot lane Kaka falling very low. Eve with the Diabolic Edict really just bringing him down, but he will be able to get out of there. The Heavenly Grace was available from JT to just keep him alive while he ran away.
Sustain coming out in this lane just means that neither side is going to be finding any big kill ops. Like Rubik plus Omni isn't really that potent. The damage isn't that great. At the same time, you have great damage from Shadow Demon Lush, but sustain from Omni means that's a bit of a tall order to find those kills. So it's going to be a very passive bot lane. Up top as well, it's much more passive than you'd expect. There's not much 1-2-3 can go for. He does just opt for that early rocket flare, as we saw earlier, to secure himself last hits, which is fair enough, because he can't walk up. The PL just has too many ways of running away, and the Ogre Magi is pretty tanky, although he traps him in.
Yeah, get the Cogs off. Battery Assault Arrow is blocked off by the Creep Wave. Some unfortunate timing there for CDEC, because if that Creep Wave wasn't there, that probably would have been a very, very easy pick-off. CDEC will have to allow Ollie to walk out, and Ollie will be counting his blessings. They'll get back, salve up and reset, although bot lane, it looks like Victoria going to get very low. He will survive for now as Eve going for another. In fact, he'll turn his attention onto JT. They'll take out the Omni. Kaka still being chased down on the Rubik, and it looks like James will find him as well.
Yeah, and just like that, all of that tension is released. You do find two nice kills on bot lane. We were talking about the sustainability of this dual lane being great. But if you cop too much damage from Lush, if you allow him to get that isolated Diabolic Edict, you're not going to be living for too long, Heavenly Grace or not.
It was really the arrow flying in from James that set it up. They were just going to try and go after Kaka, but as soon as that arrow connected, he realized the Edict was still going. I thought, screw it, let's just take down JT instead. It's a very nice setup there from the Mirana. We look back into that mid lane where, again, they are still trading. Emo currently falling a little bit behind in CS, but now Kaka comes in to help out. XM, bit of a sitting duck, but never mind. The arrow connected once again from James. They'll find a kill on the gyro, and now Kaka's going to be in trouble. Battle Trance has been popped, and he is dead. XM with a double.
Yeah, that is massive going the way of CDEC. Just really good patience there. Rather hasty from IG to just go for that lift and try and find that kill. I mean, XM was pretty low, but you didn't know where the Mirana was. You know James was just around that jungle area. And it does cost him. That will slow down the gyrocopter just a bit more. And it is a bit of a rough lane for him, as you see XM really pulling ahead now.
It's just not a lane you would expect to lose to. I mean, the Troll. XM doing a great job mid. Just going to keep that up in the jungle now. In fact, he will return back to the mid lane. Emo, though, got to be careful. James is still around the area in his own jungle. And we'll keep vision on what Emo's up to. Might just go for the creep steal with the arrow if he wants. No, James, he'll just go for an easy TP up. Looks like bot lane is where the action's at, as Ollie being chased down by Eve. But Eve has run out of mana, but Kaka there with the lift to ensure everyone gets out safely. IG, at least for now, finding themselves on the back foot. None of these lanes are really going great for them, apart from that top lane where Fly is at the top of the last hits board. And it looks like 1-2-3 hasn't really been able to shut him down.
That's the one thing with CDEC's lanes. The Clockwork lane just doesn't work out too well. You are giving a lot of space to Fly. So he finishes up his power treads. He's going to be working towards faster farm. A lot of ways you can itemize on this PL to really change up your playstyle.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Top lane, 1-2-3. Looks like he's been surrounded, but Eve will TP in on the left track. Just Just clear out all those illusions. Oh, Fly, just gonna get out of there. The arrow from James was nowhere near hitting him. Where is he actually gone? So he sees Eve, he says, screw this, I'm just gonna farm the jungle up. CDEC probably gonna try and push in that tier 1 top tower a bit. PL just doesn't want to stick around for the for that to happen. Although as I say that, Kaka has rotated in with him. So perhaps they go for a kill attempt here. Not really that easy while Eve's around, but they're going to try. Lance will fly out, but the Pulse Nova begins. There's just no way you take that if you're IG.
Yeah, it's a rough one. They do manage to find that nice kill down bot as well on the Shadow Demon. They are going to clear themselves out for a bit of shoving that tier 1 down bot.
Mid lane goes down as well. 1, 2, 3 was there with XM. They just clear it out. CDEC looking to push down even more. Again, they're still up at that top lane. There's no real defense to come out as Fly. Gonna stick around and try and man fight 1, 2, 3. Doesn't realize he's probably surrounded right now. And, well, there's the disruption coming out. The arrow to follow, although the neutral creep blocks the arrow. And now Fly just gonna try and turn around. What an unfortunate arrow coming out from James again. And with that, Emo rotates on the gyro. Homing missile will follow and it will connect on the clock. Though they are still going for Victoria, but now Fly, he gets turned on. JT as well, going to be chased down. He does have the Heavenly Grace, but it looks like he's going to take way too much damage, and he does go down to the side of CDEC. And so a 2-for-0 trade, and they will be able to find this top tier 1 tower.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad at first. The arrow being whiffed by James was pretty big. But they do have the heroes in place. They turn that around. They still find a kill on Fly. And suddenly it's all worthwhile. Everything else is right in the world. They secure themselves some nice kills and a tier 1 tower. Although there is more. A lot of activity on the map. Not going to be finding any kills, but they will clear out these stacks.
Yeah, Emo was desperately trying to clear them out before they came. It is too late though. Eve's got them. Or at least most of them. Emo definitely not going to be very happy about that, as that was essentially his catch-up farm from that bad mid lane that he had. Going to the other side of the jungle though, start farming up Ancients instead. Should be able to catch up just about the same.
It's a rough spot to be in right now as IG though. You've got these 2 greedy cores that haven't really taken over the game yet. You take a look at the net worth graph. Top 2 heroes are from CDEC, Eve and XM, both having an excellent time in terms of farm. If they can keep that lead up and keep applying the pressure to IG, there's not going to be enough space to get a big gyro and PL.
The bot lane, they are also going to go after JT on the Omni. 1, 2, 3 just running straight in. Has the cogs available, but doesn't quite commit it yet. He will now, as he does have Eve in the cogs with him. JT, there's just nothing he can do about this. He just accepts his death on the Omni. And CDEC look to be setting up for another tier 1 tower at the bot lane now.
And with that Leshrac, Eve of course can just melt these towers quite fast. Although, he is really building up in this hero. 5k net worth, 700 ahead of the PL. He already has his traveled, he's going for his Yules next. And he has been a menace on this hero. 2-0, not dying just yet. Buying a lot of space for his team.
There will be a smoke from CDEC.
No sorceries available.
They do have the hookshot available on 1, 2, 3, so easy setup for him. Arca gonna run past XM. That Invis rune. Looks like the other CDEC heroes are gonna stick around XM. Just make sure he's alright. Maybe use him as bait if you can. The smoke will break 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure about that though. He jumps onto Ollie on that Ogre. He should be able to find this kill, and they will, but he'll trade his own life away, it looks like, as Fly gonna move in. 1, 2, 3 still alive, but Kaka does find him with the Fade Bolt. And XM still chasing Fly still gets the snare as well. He does get the kill, and now the battle trance comes out. Kaka's in trouble. Emo could be in trouble. He gets ensnared as well. He's going down. He does flak cannon, but it's not going to be enough. And look at JT just melting to Eve, as Eve does run out of mana and just back off anyway. But I thought that was a bad initiation from the clock. Turns out it works out. They find the position 1 and the position 2 in that.
Yeah, it's down to the fact that 123 can just get that kind of initiation going because he has the backup of his Shadow Demon. We've seen that time and time again. 123 walks up, Battery Assault, Cogs up, all the spells fly out, but he just gets disrupted up. And that's enough. That breaks out the combo from IG, that buys enough time for all the other heroes to catch up, and suddenly that fight turns on its head. 11-3, massive advantage for CDEC, 3k net worth advantage for him as well. So they are building up, and the space is growing smaller for IG. They can't get enough farm going on both Emo and Fly. One of the heroes has to slow down a bit, and you can't really afford to do that with both of these guys. Like, you want your Gyrocopter to be big, you want your PL to be big. At this rate, both of them are just kind of okay. You know, it's not bad farm, but it's not the snowball start you really want from these guys.
You have the Moonlight Shadow coming out. James looking to set up rather Victoria with the disruption. Ollie, gonna be an easy pick to make, and they can just disrupt, and that's exactly what they do. James has the arrow and does set up with it, and with that they should be able to find that kill, though another hookshot will find Kaka as well. So Ollie and Kaka both going down. That bot T1 just can't sustain the Diabolic Edict coming out from Eve. They'll fortify for now, but XM is there as well. And it's a 13-3, a very one-sided game for this game number 2, at least for now. 4k net worth lead for CDEC, and just really no way IG's coming back into this yet. They just haven't got the items they need. In fact, Fly may die. He does TP out. There was no way to cancel it. But everywhere they go to farm, CDEC is just there.
It's hard. They've got to find a way to get this farm up. They should be able to secure these bounties, and they do up top at the very least. It did cost them their cooldown, but it's not a massive cooldown spell. So you're going to be happy enough with that. Still, lots of things not quite working out yet for IG. They need to slow this game down, avoid these fights, get the farm going on your cores. Gyrocopter and Phantom Lancer need that gold. They are very close to the defusal on Fly. That could give him enough for team fights, but he doesn't have the durability.
JT getting caught out by the hookshot though. They lift him out of the cogs. 1, 2, 3, trying to run away, but he has a blade mail up anyway, so he doesn't mind getting hit as they turn around now. Emo gonna be the target. He'll throw the call down out. Eve straight into the backlines, going after the supports while they're taking that gyro out. And XM, he'll find Emo very, very easily. The rest of IG just dissipated. And it looks like they're kind of setting up for a Roshan attempt now. But no, it is just over that power rune. Eve will go ahead and pick up a haste. And this game just keeps getting worse and worse for IG. And at the very least, it looks like Fly does have the diffusal coming out, but that is not going to turn the tides quite yet.
No, definitely not. He needs at least this Manta style up before they force something.
It's still going mid. Ollie.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Just like that. You just don't have enough to face up against this. XM just hits too hard. They're all a bit tanky. You don't have the damage up in these heroes. You have durability with your Omni Knight. That's really it. You have to buy time. You have to slow this game down. You have to get the stacks going. You cannot afford to lose your jungle here. But it doesn't look like CDEC is pressuring that jungle as much as you'd want. Still, the game has kind of been too fast for them. Knight's arrow onto Eve though.
Yeah, that's going to be a big pickup if they can find it. Moonlight Shadow, but they did have the dust available. It's a lot of gold going to the way of JT on the Omni. Though, looks like mid lane, Emo has been caught out again on the Gyrocopter. 1, 2, 3 will pick up the kill on the clock. Didn't even require the hook for that. They just kind of ran in and got the Cogs battery sold off. So I'm not really sure how worthwhile it was for the Leshrac anyways. The Gyro Emo is just finding nothing off this map, and this is some very slow farm for a Gyrocopter to say the least.
It definitely is. They're still finding the trades, but, you know, when you lose a Gyro like that, it's just not good.
Kaka. Creep up on CDEC, but JT dropping an item for a second there. He does get arrowed up. And JT is purifying, but is going to die. It looks like they may have found another Kaka. The hook shot there from 1-2-3. Going to be a very easy pick once again. IG continues to get picked apart by CDEC. 7k net worth lead now. I mean, Fly, he joins the team. He wants to try and help out. James is already in position. He uses up the gyro, sends the arrow out, does connect 1-2-3 straight in. And with that, the cooldown's there, but it's not going to matter. Emo, he's dropping way too fast. They find another kill onto Ollie and Emo, and that's a tier 2 tower now gone.
Yeah, it's not looking great for IG. Their defense is... They can't defend at all. They don't have the team fight. They went for a really greedy dual core here that isn't online yet and needs a lot more to be online. I mean, you're starting to see Fly. I do believe that his Yasha flying out, not going to be enough still. He can right-click hard on the right heroes, but when you clump up all the heroes from CDEC, they do too much damage. They clear through those illusions because they're really paper right now. You don't have any way of getting that opening on CDEC. This could be the Roach going away as well. I don't see them contesting this one. And that's just going to give so much more to CDEC. They've got the 10k advantage, 20-4, 19 minutes in. If they can clear out this map, start taking that last tier 2 and knock on those tier 3s, there's not going to be too much space for IG to farm up.
It's going to be a very easy Roach on CDEC. They'll take it. Eve will pick up the Aegis on the Leshrac. And once again, Moonlight Shadow will be popped straight away. IG going to be very afraid of what's coming as they are running directly towards the side of the Dire. Everyone does run the right way though, at the very least. So nobody will get caught out. CDEC just getting some D wards, getting some bounty runes up for themselves. Perhaps even a kill soon as Ollie, hook shot will not connect. They still know the Ogre's there somewhere. They're just not as eager to find this kill. Arrow will be whiffed, but there's the battery assault cogs. Ollie has no way out of that situation.
Eve lost the Aegis.
Oh, top play. Eve.
Yeah. He was going for the rune. He lost his Aegis. But, I mean, you know, I guess they didn't need it. Doesn't look like CDEC's too phased by that. I mean, they still found a kill on Ollie, I guess. They didn't get that rune, though, so no, probably not going to be too happy, Eve.
Well, they're going to smoke up. No hook shot available, so you can't really rely on that initiation, but CDEC feeling confident, as they should be. They're going to run straight into Ollie once again. He just TP'd to the shrine.
Oh, man.
Poor Ogre is going to have to suffer once more. Do they transition top? It looks like they don't want to. Rather, they're going to stick around mid lane.
I reckon that they should start clearing out that tier 2 up top. Take that last objective off the map. Start knocking on those tier 3s, force a response from IG. They really don't have a defense game. Like, they're just not online, these heroes. You are relying on Kaka to perhaps steal a couple of big spells. Even then, you don't have the big teamfight spells in this game anyway. So you have a lot of small utility spells, but you might have enough in the tank, at least for Fly, to burst down a couple of heroes. Still, it's a tall ask. He is right around the gold for his ultimate orb, inching towards that Mantis style, so you are seeing signs of life here. IG is still keeping pace, at the very least on their PL.
Well, there's that tier 2 top tower going down. James was there to just push it out with the siege creep. They'll get that. And that is the final objective outside of the base for IG being taken out. Manta almost up for Fly. Will that make a difference? We'll find out. It's the Moonlight Shadow once again being popped. Mid lane, there is a smoke from IG, but it's going to get broken so darn quick by 1-2-3, and he just walks back. And now they realize, hold on, the smoke's broken. Kaka dusts up, gets hooked up straight away. Where's the rest of the team, though? He blade mails up Kaka, falling low, but not low enough. Guardian Angel will come out. Now Disruptors to save the clock. But 1-2-3 kind of just hooked himself to his own death. Now XM gonna move in on the gyro. Emo will get saved by disruption from the Rubik. And XM, he will still find a massive pick. Now Ollie, he'll be chased down on the Ogre. He's gone. Another double for XM as he goes after the
Oh,
PL.
the fly.
They get the arrow. He's got no way out of this. And Kaka trying to help on the Rubik. I thought it was over. Not quite. As Kaka's going to go down as well. Ollie running south. He just brought back. He doesn't want to tie. But they'll find JT instead on the Omni. It's going to be an ultra kill coming up from XM. And it wasn't even a challenge.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was a really wonky initiation coming out from CDEC. They still went out in the end. So you only have an Ogre to defend. These tier 3s are not going to be standing for too long, Mike.
Dire's structures are fortified.
There's not many creeps left. They may not have time. Although, never mind. Eve's here.
Dire's middle tower
With that edict, you definitely have enough time. I don't think they stick around here for the racks, but... Well, I like it. CDEC trying to apply more pressure. They will eventually back off. No need to push this limit and, you know, throw your lead away in case you lose another team fight.
shrine is under attack.
Just keep things going as they are. Dota Plus, 95% the wave CDEC, and that is extremely accurate, I would argue.
Has fallen.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen that kind of stat from Dota Plus. Has been much more even throughout the day, but there is a clear advantage for CDEC in this game. 15k net worth lead, 27-6, 24 minutes in. They've already taken that first tier 3. They've taken one shrine. If they can take out that next shrine, the last one remaining, that's just no TP points for IG. Roche is completely open. Jungle, it's not going to be safe. In fact, it's already not quite safe anyway. So you're just going to be taking away all the sources of farm for IG. And they need a lot more farm to get these fights going.
Dire's top shrine is under attack. Dire's top shrine has fallen.
XM, thanks out the top shrine. Fly. Goes up mid lane. Gotta be careful as that PL though. There's still so many ways to just take him out. Firefly has been slowly catching him in farm though. It doesn't feel like it's quite enough yet.
It's definitely not. It's a far cry from what you'd want. It's a decent pace considering the start of this game, but if they force a fight here...
1, 2, 3. He's got the hook ready. Just gotta find the right PL. Also, doesn't want to hook too early like last time, but may go for it now. And yeah, he goes straight on the gyro. Arrow to follow. They have the Heavenly Grace this time around, so they won't be able to burst down Emo. And he throws the call down out now. Flak cannoning his way to victory, but it's really doing no damage. But 1, 2, 3 will be the first one down, as now they will chase Eve on the Leshrac. Still, he uses himself up. XM jumps in straight onto that gyro. Now Nullifier comes out from XM. He clears him out. Still Eve going fly, trying to make the chase, but it will be no good on the PL. At the very least, the buybacks will allow IG to continue this chase. The CDEC do not seem interested whatsoever. They just get out of there. They already got what they came for. 3 buybacks. It was a 2 for 3 before those buybacks came out. It's another win for CDEC.
Definitely is. They're going to be happy with that trade. They understand if they take the next team fight, that means the high ground is definitely very open for them to take.
Radiant are scanning.
So it's a risky spot to be in as IG. They're going to try to find an objective. They are whittling away at that T1. But that's probably the most they can get. Just some tickling damage on that mid-tier 1. Not much more.
Hook shot from 1, 2, 3. Fortunately for him, illusions were running straight towards him, so he does just hook the illusions and now mid. CDEC. My shadow up. Do they go for this team fight? They don't have the initiation they want, but James goes for the blind arrow. Won't really work out. Roshan is back on the table as well. There's another arrow. Is actually going to land on Kaka. Don't really have a way to break the distance that quick though.
Yeah, I want to point out, 123 got the short end of the stick this game. He's level 13 as the core clock. Not the best spot to be in, but you know, he still does the work. You'd want to see a bit more utility on him, at the very least finish that 4-staff. Still, he's bought a lot for his team. They are going to take this road, although there is a fight.
There is a fight, but the Aegis is down. Cheese on the deck, but they'll pick that up as well. Now, well, they rush in. 123 keeping them back. Call down is there. Everyone's still alive on the side of CDEC though, and this does not look good for IG. They're going to lose their Ogre, at least Ollie. He goes down. Now Fly trying to fight, but James has him in the Yules. The arrow to set up, not going to be there, but they got the nullifier anyway, and this PL is going nowhere. And meanwhile, Eve is chasing the rest of IG. Kaka will get caught out. At the very least, he got the lift off. And how much does it matter? He's going to lose 2 more heroes and a Roshan. And XM wants to at least force the issue, try and force out that PL buyback. And even if he does buy back, I don't know if it's going to make a difference.
It's going to be hard. Like, they do need the damage coming out from him, but the control's the big part. They don't have it. They don't have the control. They're going to have to pop the Fortify. That's not going to stop this push.
Definitely not. You've got the Aegis Cheese available on both your cores anyway. Now they head down bot. I don't blame them. They've still got plenty of time to go. Emo trying his best with the flat cannon to force them back, but they are still very, very healthy. It looks like CDEC. 1 Rax and added tier 3, and they will back off to safety. So Eve gets hit by an arrow from Kaka. Now the lift is going to be there as follow-up. In fact, they don't even need it, but what a hook. 123 turns it around with a cogs. Emo, 4-staff sound, but this could be really bad. Call down comes out as well. They're just trying to slow down the side of CDEC from pursuing this chase. And now IG, do they try and punish again? They caught out Eve on the left rack. Arrow avoided by the disruption. They'll give Eve another life as he BKBs up, moves forward. Emo and him are trapped in the cogs right now. They're just trying to go after JT, but got the Guardian Angel making it so hard. It won't be as hard as I thought those. They do go down, and now Fly trying to help out. He does at least man to dodge the nullifier from XM. But this still looks bad. They found the Yules onto Fly. Arrow, Ollie goes down. And with that, Fly, they miss the split earth, but it doesn't matter. The game's over.
Oh, yeah, that's a rough one for IG after a pretty strong win in game 1. CDEC just speeds up that game, cuts it half, and do take game number 2, 36-9, 27k net worth lead for them. A pretty explosive game too. I have to say, IG have to go back to the drawing board, look at their draft, reassess what they've done, and perhaps force that game tree to be in their advantage.
Do you think the draft was just a little bit too greedy from IG?
Yeah, it's 100%. It's down to that draft. That core pickups they had just didn't have the momentum. They require too much farm to get online, and when they don't, they just falter. The momentum from CDEC was way too much, and so they perhaps correct that in game number 3. We'll find out, Mike.
Yeah, we definitely will. We'll be back with game 3 in just a moment. We are already in the lobby. It is MLP Dota and Dronix Fire. We'll see you guys very, very soon.
your